welcome to Forward, a podcast all about finding small steps we can take in order to move in the direction of our dreams. I am your host, Lydia Morales. So whether you're running, stumbling, or crawling forward, I am here for you. We're going to figure it out together and do amazing things. Hello and welcome to Forward. Today's episode is It's Okay to Thrive. And today's topic is all about how your dreams matter. I just want to really remind you that it's okay to thrive. It's okay for you to have big goals that other people might not understand. It's okay to express yourself and be creative. It's okay to be different. It's okay to want to be successful. It's okay to want to make a lot of money. It's okay for you to want to be a big deal or to want your name to mean something to other people. It's okay for you to want to make an impact in this world. It really is okay. And a lot of us don't hear that enough. So if it's been a while since you've heard it, or if it's the first time that you've heard it, I just really do want you to know that it's okay and that you shouldn't be shrinking yourself to make other people feel better about themselves or feel more comfortable about themselves. Because if you have big goals, if you have ambitions and big dreams, other people might not understand it and it can make them uncomfortable because they might not have big dreams like you do. Or maybe they did and they gave up on them. And here you are striving and running towards your dreams or crawling towards them, because this podcast is all about running, crawling, or walking towards the goals that you have. So I do want to let you know that it's okay. Just make sure to keep moving forward little by little and to not let the criticisms of other people stop you from doing that. I know it can be discouraged. I've been discouraged myself, so I completely understand it. But it's okay for us to aim for bigger things. And you're not alone if you've been discouraged or if you've been criticized by your dreams and goals or told that you're not good enough or that you can never do it or that you're just not the kind of person who could succeed in doing something. You're not alone. And I want you to still go for it. Not to prove others, just to prove to yourself that you can do something and that you can achieve big things, because you really can, and it's okay to do so. I think a lot of times there's that guilt feeling that we get. Sometimes we feel guilty for doing something that we want to do because we think that our loved ones or someone else doesn't want us to do it, doesn't want us to go for our goals. And they may be coming from a good place, a place of love. But when you have ambitions and things that you want to achieve, you need to push through. And yes, there will be backlash from some people, or you may be criticized, but still move forward, because you don't want to look back and regret not starting now, or regret giving up, or regret not going in the direction that you wanted to go. So whatever dreams you may be wanting to achieve, do it. Move towards them. And the way to do so is to get very clear on what you want. Be very specific on why you want that dream, why you want to achieve that goal. And then learn how to break down that goal. Because once we set goals and we make our mind that we're going to do it no matter what, a lot of times we write down that goal and then it looks like it's a mountain in front of us that we have to climb before we get there. And it looks so scary, and we look at where we're at and where we want to go, and it just seems like it's so far away. So when this happens to me, I like to break down those goals. And once you've broken them up into little steps or little phases of your plan, it looks a little less scary. Because if you break down a goal into 20 steps and then you realize, oh, I don't have to jump from the first step to the 20th step. I just have to go from step 1 to step 2, get that done, and then step 2 to step 3, and it just becomes more doable, more achievable, and less scary. And that's really the key here, because when something looks massive to us, it seems so unattainable. And I've absolutely been there. So the best strategy that I have for you is to break down those goals. Break them down as small as you need them to be. I mean, if you need a ridiculously small, tiny little step to do every single day, then do that, because these tiny steps daily will add up to that massive mountain that you want to climb. And you'll still move faster than if you weren't doing anything except looking at this goal and thinking about how you're not going to get there. So sit down, write the goal, and break it apart. And then break it apart some more if you need to. Because you are worth achieving your goals. You are worth going for what you truly want in this life. And once you've made up your mind, figuring out how to get there is the next step. And again, I'd like to remind you that it's okay for you to have big goals. It's okay to go for them. And for myself, I have found that once those tiny steps are written down, that it's very empowering, because I start to realize, okay, I can figure this step out. I can either research it, or maybe I know someone that's done this tiny step before and I can figure out how to do it. And then once you move on to the next step, it's the same thing. Okay, if I've never done this before, let me figure out how I can do it. Let me ask, let me research. Because I assure you that there is someone in this world that has already done what you want to do and has a blog or a YouTube channel or a book or a show that you can go and look at for inspiration, for resources on how to complete this step. Everything is online now. And once you know what your step is, once you know what the next thing is that you have to check off to keep moving forward in your dream, then it almost becomes like, it's almost like a fun adventure game where you're like, okay, I have these 20 quests I have to complete before I reach the goal. And then in every quest, you're just figuring out how to complete it. It's like a little side quest if you play video games. And honestly, it's just like that. You get to the next step and you figure it out and you move on to the next one. But the goal is always to move forward. Always. And if you get stuck, okay, what resources do you need? Who can you talk to? Who can you look up? Because once you decide that it's okay to thrive, it's okay to have big goals, and you write those goals and then you break down those goals until you have manageable steps, then it's all about how to move on to the next little step. And this is how you won't get overwhelmed with things. This is how you keep your head in the game, one little step at a time. These are the exact steps I took when I was designing and creating my Intentional Living digital planner. It was the same strategy I used when I wanted to create and launch my podcast. Both those things looked like Everest to me, something I've never done before, like completely new and unknown territory. So when I broke down those steps and then broke them down some more and did one tiny little step at a time, that's how I got things done. And it's honestly amazing, because now not only do I have one digital planner, I've designed two. And now not only do I just want to have a podcast, I have a podcast. I assure you, these tiny steps work, and the reason they work is because they're not scary. They're not overwhelming. They're so doable and manageable, researchable, that it becomes so much fun, because you're figuring out the next step and how to move past the blocks, how to get unstuck and move forward. And this is a strategy I would love for you to try with the big goals you have, because I'm sure we all have huge goals that we're too scared to try of sometimes. The doubt goes in, like, who am I to do this? Who would even want to listen to me, or even want to know about me, or buy a product that I made? But honestly, once you start working on these small steps, you get more and more clarity And then the doubt that's first shouting in your head becomes a small whisper. And then one day the doubt is just gone because you're working on one step at a time and you're realizing that, oh yeah, I can do this. I'm doing this. And then before you know it, you're like, oh my goodness, I've done this. I've completed this one thing that I thought I couldn't do. And so not only do I want you to know that it's okay to thrive, I want you to know that your goals are achievable. Just break them down and then break them down again and again until the steps are no longer scary for you. Because as always, you need to make sure this works for you, to make sure that each step is moving you in the direction of your dreams, because that is what we want. And I really, really hope that these steps do help you, and let me know if you gave them a try. Let me know what your goal is. I would love to hear about the dreams that you have and how you're breaking them down. And if you achieve them, let me know, because I'd be more than happy to hear that someone else took this advice and that it also worked for them. And as always, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope this really helped you and reminded you that you are worth achieving your goals. It's okay to do so. It's okay to thrive. Thank you so much. And to find out more, you can visit me at lydiamoralesco.com, and I'll go ahead and add the link to the show notes. Have a lovely day.